Hi everybody, in this video I'm going to show you how to make really cool concrete barriers out of an MDF kit. This is not really sponsored content, but still it was sent to me by the beautiful, wonderful man over at Scenery Factory. Thank you very much, Tom van Eyck. In this video I'm going to show you a whole bunch of detailing jobs, how to texture concrete, how to make barbed wire, etc, etc. Pretty long video, hope you enjoy it. Thank you very much for watching and welcome to the workshop. So Scenery Factory, you can check out the link to the website in the description below. This is the kit that he sent me. Bunch of walls, corner pieces, bunch of destroyed walls, a gate and a watchtower. I received the boxes and this is what they look like. Let's take a quick look at the contents and do some dry fitting before we start with texturing. Every component of the kit is packaged separately and has its own instruction manual, really handy. You don't have to go online and download it. You can just take a look at it, it's really simple. I dry fitted a wall section and I prepared some tools, as you can see. They weren't needed after all, it was a perfect fit. Some of the pieces have several options. As you can see, I have two floor options for the breached wall. Here I made a dry fit. I'm going to feature this in a future video. I'm going to concentrate on the walls in this one, and we're going to start by texturing and assembly. You know me by now, here over at the Talk Matter Workshop, we do like destruction, so we're gonna start off by hacking up a piece of the wall sections, just one, and I use a hobby knife to just carve out a bit of destruction, and then I glue the straight sections all together with a little bit of PVA glue at the appropriate places. Make sure to remove the excess PVA glue, as this stuff dries rock hard and is impossible to remove at a later stage. Time to hack up some more of the MDF pieces, again with a hobby knife. The sides are going to be metal. The wall and the bottom sections are concrete, but I just use the same hacking away technique on all the pieces, and then I want to simulate some bullet holes. So I use my cheap Dremel knockoff with a drill bit and I just score the MDF and make some holes in it. Not through the MDF, but just enough. Then a couple of drops of the plastic putty by Vallejo, and with a stiff bristled brush, that's a hard sentence for a non-English speaker, just stipple on the texture all over the model. At the sides, at the top and the bottom, of course. I'm going to use the same putty to simulate a bit of the weathering on the metal parts, but then I'm going to use a lot less than I used on the concrete. Let's add some more detailing to the destroyed wall. I want to simulate some rebar, so I drilled a bunch of holes at the top and I glued in some pieces of guitar string, to which I glued with super glue a couple of pieces of plaster that I had lying around from other projects. Here you can see me applying the metal texture a bit more sparingly than I did on the concrete. For a bit of more detailing, I also added the Imperial eagle to the non-destroyed wall sections. For this I made a mold out of the eagle, since it was my last bit I had lying around. I use blue stuff for this. You make it softer in hot water and then you can knead it and then press over the model you want to make a copy of. Let the mold cool off sufficiently, and here you have a perfect mold to make all your castings with. Time to lay down some paint. We're going to start with the concrete. For this I used black gesso and I painted everything in black. After drying time, I laid down a coat of gray to give a little bit of depth all over the concrete. Let's add in a bunch of more colors. This is a mixture of the medium sea gray and pale gray, and we are going to dry brush the concrete. A layer of pale gray wash. This is a little bit darker than the other grays that we laid down, not really visible, but it adds a little bit of variation in the gray color palette. Then I stipple on a bit of a darker color, quite subtle. And then before weathering, a final highlight of light pale gray with a little bit of white. So for the first weathering effects, the streaking, I mix in a little bit of pale gray wash with black wash, and I just pull the paint from the holes down, and I do this for all the holes in all the walls on the entire project. I then use a slightly darker mix and I blend in all the streaking effects. And then on some of the bullet holes I use a little bit of black wash to deepen the shadows, and I also do a little bit of streaking effects, a little bit more subtle this time, just within the streaking that is already there. I use the same colors to give a little bit of shadow to the eagles, and then after this painting step it's time to start assembly, again with a little bit of PVA glue in the appropriate places. And this is to attach the walkways. The painting for the metal parts is going to come at a later stage. Time to add a whole bunch of more detailing, and we're going to start off by some debris, again with the pieces of plaster that I had from a previous project. Whenever you cast something in plaster, keep the excess, don't put it away or don't throw it in a garbage can. Just pour it into a plastic container, let it set, smash it apart, and you have these little pieces of concrete like. I just add them to the base with a little bit of super glue. Now there are some extra bits in the kit. This is a electrical console used to open the gate, I would think, but I'm going to use it to control the electricity for the barbed wire that we are going to make. This is simply glued in place and painted up in a metal color. For the electric wiring I use 0.5 millimeters ABS rod. I take measurements and I just use my nails to bend it, as it's really thin and really easy to manipulate. At a later stage I'm going to paint it black, and the console just metal colors with a little bit of shading, nothing too fancy. I attached the wire with a little bit of super glue to the model. And then it's time to start making a bunch of electrical fencing. These are 2mm thick plasticard bars. I use my Dremel knockoff to make little holes into them, and I use super glue to attach these to the model. To simulate the electrical wiring, I use 0.5mm metal wire, cut to size and glued in with a little bit of super glue. For the bobbed wire, I use the same 0.5mm metal wire. I take a good piece of it, fold it in half, attach the two ends of the wire into the Dremel bit, and then I can take the other end of the wire with the pliers and I can just twist up the wire, so I don't have to spend $5 for about a meter of it, of the stuff. God damn, that's expensive. It's so easy to make yourself. When it's done, just twist it around a thick brush, and there you have it. You can leave it as this, or you can add a little bit more of detail, as I'm going to show you here. For this I use 0.4mm floral wire, which I bend and twist around the main wire to make it look like real barbed wire. A little bit more work, well, actually quite a bit of more work, but at the end it looks really nice, so I think it's worth it. Add a bunch of metal knots all over the wire, twist it up as I showed previously, and then you can attach it with a little bit of super glue to the model and you have your own barbed wire. Now we're going to continue with painting the metal parts of the model. We started with a black coat of the black gesso, now a layer of Games Workshop lead belcher. After drying, I apply a mixture of sepia with a little bit of water, or in my case the wash mix, all over the metal parts as a first layer. Second is a coat of pure sepia. I concentrate this color to the sides and to where I applied a bit of the texture. And also with the sepia, a little bit of streaking effect to where the barbed wire meets the concrete. And then finally, for a layer of rust, I mix in some Umber wash with a little bit of rust pigment, so it becomes this brown reddish color. And I apply this color all over the previous sepia layer, so wherever there's destruction or wear and tear, and wherever there is texture, I apply the rust. Final step in the metal painting process is a dry brush of lead belcher all over the metal parts. Just very gently to bring out some of the details. Now, to give it a little bit more life, we're going to add some posters. Then I went online, searched for 40k posters on Google. This is what I found, really cool stuff. Went to the print shop and got it printed out on a laser printer. This is important if you want to weather the posters with ink. If you were to use a normal printer, it's possible that the inks will destroy the print. I crunch up the poster and then I simply attach it with a little bit of PVA glue, and I use some sepia and black wash. With the posters done, it's time for the last step in the project. I'm going to add some pigments. First, I'm going to start with the destructed wall, a bit of concrete pigment all around the rubble, and a little bit of rubble pigment all over the bottom concrete pieces. And that is it for this project. Once again, thank you very much for watching, ladies and gentlemen. Remember, if you want to keep up with the Dark Matter Workshop world, I mean WIP pictures, go and check out my social media. Don't forget to like, subscribe, you know what to do. Please leave a comment. If you have any questions, I will be glad to answer them. And I will see you soon for a new project here on Dark Matter Workshop. Once again, thanks for watching. And I'll see you soon. Bye.